Okay, so I posted a video asking what has been the most frustrating thing about dating, and I read through all of the comments, and by far, ghosting has been the number one thing for everyone. So let's talk about it for a minute. In my opinion, I feel like ghosting like doubled and tripled due to the dating apps, because if you are talking to so many different people at once and you're making all these different connections, instead of letting someone know that you've connected with someone else more, they just drop you and move on to the next one. So I just want to say to the people who are out there doing the ghosting that it literally takes 1 minute out of your life to just give someone an explanation. And I can guarantee you that most people would rather hear the truth, even if it's what they don't want to hear or not, than to wonder what happened. Because we as human beings are wired to just immediately blame ourselves and think, well, what did I do wrong? Is there something wrong with me? So think about the trauma that you're causing people if you continuously do this. If there is one resolution you could make, just make a resolution not to ghost anybody anymore. It's simple.
All right, so this is not hard to understand. Look, men most of the time have multiple options, and when they see that they have an option that's better, they leave alone what they were dealing with before. It's not that hard to understand. It's men. It's how men move. It's how society has put men in a position to move, and it works to our benefit. Why would we be tied down to something that we don't really want to deal with, and something that's really not worth our time when there's obviously a better option right next to us? No, of course, we would just keep moving on. And as a woman, you should be figuring out what's wrong, fix the problem, and then you won't have this happen to you. But you haven't done that yet, so here you are.
You know what's something I really don't get about modern day dating? The game playing, bro. Like, you see all these videos on TikTok, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but it's like toxic things to send someone, or like ways to make him jealous or stuff like that. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Why are we trying to start a relationship on the foot of, ooh, I made him jealous and now he wants me? Can we be so for real right now? And if it's not the playing games thing, it's the too scared to hurt someone else's feelings thing. When did it become that leading someone on and not telling someone, hey, I just don't like you like that, is better than just being honest? When I was single, I would have so rather have had someone just hurt my feelings and say, I'm not interested in you, than to string me along and be like, oh no, I'm just busy, or I just have a crazy schedule. You make time for what's important to you. I don't know, man. I'd like to start a petition. No more game playing, no more dishonesty. Just be freaking up front. It's so much easier.
Stop fucking ghosting. This ghosting culture has gotten so out of hand, it's actually astronomical. It is utter bullshit. My friend is gorgeous. She is in her mid-30s. She's successful. She's incredible. She's an awesome person. So fun to be around and doing so much work on herself. And she met this guy on Hinge or some shit. They had 3 great dates. He was communicative, not too much, no love bombing. They didn't sleep together, for everyone that wants to try and blame her for any of that bullshit. And they had some great dates. Everything was seemingly normal. They went out this like a week ago. They had a great time. He texted her saying, I'd love to see you again. They were texting, a couple times a day here and there. And then he said, listen, I'm not really feeling well. I'm just going to take a rest. She's like, okay, no worries. Feel better. Didn't hear from him for a few days. So she texted him like, hey, just want to make sure you're feeling okay. Never to be heard from fucking again. And this is the type of shit I'm saying. Be a fucking grown up. Just because you're not into somebody, whether you met somebody else or you're not that into them or you really, whatever, I don't really give a shit what your reasoning is. Just fucking send a text. Hey, I think you're great. I had a really great time getting to know you, but this is not the connection I'm seeking. Take care. It takes 2 fucking seconds to be a grown-ass adult. But for all of these cowards that are hiding behind their phone, don't give me this bullshit. Oh, it's better for the other person. I'm not hurting them. And it hurts them to tell them the truth that I met someone else. Oh, but you think disappearing on somebody that had a great connection with you, that was super into you, you think that's the fucking answer? That's on you. That shows your cowardice. That shows your avoidance. That shows that you can't handle confrontation. If a girl can't handle, she argues with what you say, you have every right to block the bitch, to fucking never talk to her again. But send a simple fucking message. And it's enough of this stuff. Enough of these games. It's enough of this garbage. Do fucking better. Stop ghosting people. Stop treating people as if they're fucking transactions and going right back on the app to swipe, 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 swipe. It doesn't work that way in the real fucking world.
Okay, it took her forever to spit that out. But this is very easy to understand. Men always have options. And all it seems like is he didn't really like her, didn't want to deal with her, or he found something better, and then he moved on. But what he didn't do was completely close off her friend as an option, because men do that. We always have options. We leave something there, even if we're not really into it, but we're going to have it there as an option. And then we'll go and move on because it's just these women are not worth committing to. He moved on for a reason. Okay. He clearly didn't see her as someone that was worthy of staying with long term, but he was like, well, if I ever want to fall back just for whatever reason he decided to, she's going to be here. It's not rocket science, but women, they can't seem to understand how men think. And this is why they're stuck in these holes today.
4 ways women lose a good man and how you can avoid it. Pay attention. Let's get into it, ladies. Men, correct me if I'm wrong. Taking them for granted. A man been so good to you for so long, you no longer see the value in them. The value in how they treat you. Not communicating well or effectively. Like expecting men to read our minds and getting mad when they can't. Being dismissive about how you make him feel or being overly defensive in response to how he feels. Basically, not liking being held accountable for your actions and how you've made that man feel. Last but not least, being selfish and unwilling to compromise.
Story of a guy who pretended to go to the bathroom but really ditched me on a date. So I met this guy for dinner and drinks. Right from the start, I could tell that we were not compatible. He was talking about how much he loves strip clubs, and that's a lot to hear on a first date. So I was getting ready to tell him, listen, let's not do dinner. Let's just do this one drink. We're not compatible. In a nice, polite way. When he excused himself to use the bathroom, seriously, 10 minutes went by. And the manager of the restaurant comes and gets me. And I can tell he is so embarrassed. And he has to explain to me that my date has left. So I gather my things to leave. And the manager is like, but I also have to tell you, he did not pay for your drink. What? You're telling me this man ditched me, didn't even have the cojones to tell me, snuck out the back, but didn't even pick up my drink? What? So I did what any strong, confident woman would do. I cried about it in the bathroom, womaned up, paid my tab, sent him an angry text message. I wish the story has a better ending, but that's really just how it ended. Now I laugh about it. Rejection sucks, but it's a part of life. Has something like this ever happened to you? For more rejection story times, don't forget to follow.